We love each other.
Yeah, she's all right.
Bella Ramsey and Pedro Pascal's interviews, the funniest moments you have to see. It is not every time that we witness a synergy between two people that make us scratch our heads and wonder how two castmates from a show can eventually be so close and jovial in real life, not even minding the age difference. Recently, two television icons have made it their mission to mesmerize their growing fans with their awe-inspiring camaraderie. After the premiere of a highly anticipated post-apocalyptic series, The Last of Us, on HBO, several TV channels have released their interviews with the cast and crew of the show, which reveal some amusing answers to questions about the film and their relationship. Watching closely, we say it is a simulated father-daughter relationship, or maybe the type of vibes between an elder brother and a younger sister. Whatever it is, we love it. The laughter, the humor, the je ne sais quoi between Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey just keeps getting interesting. Now, let's explore some of the funny interview moments and humorous responses from Pedro and Bella. Take a look at the moment when they both promise not to leave each other, declaring their commitment to being friends for eternity. Listening to Bella tell Pedro that she will be there for him all the time melts the heart, and then that hug at the end, goosebumping inducing, I tell you. Their jokes and laughter and friendship during interviews will make you wonder how long they've known each other and how they developed this fascinating rapport and affection for one another. Really thrilling to watch them all the time. During an interview with The Hollywood Reporter, the duo of Bella and Pedro fascinated their fans with a humorous and playful attitude that got many swooning with glee. Bella greeted the reporters with a sheepish smile.
No Hollywood Reporter.
While Pedro mimicked her in a high-pitched voice.
Hello, Hollywood Reporter.
Then playful Bella asked Pedro, "Who are you?" To which Pedro jokingly responded, "I'm Bella Ramsey,"
Who are you?
I'm Bella Ramsey.
causing Bella and the reporters to burst out in laughter. Bella clarified that Pedro's real name was Pedro Pascal, but Pedro wasn't ready to give up the joke. He went on to introduce himself as Pedro RAMSCAL, which they both laughed at and continued the interview with a lighthearted and comedic tone. These all happened just before the commencement of the interview with The Hollywood Reporter, and of course the interviewer, who was off-screen, laughed out loud so loudly trying to make sense of what the two Hollywood stars that have just assumed the position of clowns were saying. Even though The Last of Us is a serious show laced with suspense and high stakes, Pascal recalls that the team was ready to murder him and Bella as they were constantly cracking jokes, making the film process playful. But clearly, while the pair chose to enjoy themselves by joking and laughing all the way through production, we don't get a hint of that watching the adrenaline-bursting drama series. Was Bella's composure in the interview boring, though? Clearly not. She didn't fail to amuse us with some witty statements and loud laughter. Like when The Hollywood Reporter asked, "What was the last thing you ate?" Bella explained that she had substituted orange juice for milk in her bowl of cornflakes and dried strawberries.
Mine was cornflakes and bran with dried strawberries in with orange juice on top instead of milk.
Her response was a bolt from the blue. Pedro couldn't hide his confusion. Like, seriously, who mixes strawberries and orange juice? Well, we found one person to add to the list. And it seems that the pair of Pedro and Bella are now synonymous with jokes and laughter. Their reputation for being funny in interviews now precedes them. During their interview at BBC Radio 1, the interviewer, now aware of their laughter and comedy during interviews, began by asking, "So guys, how many jokes should I expect in the show?" Bella jested with fulfillment, satisfaction. "Too many, won't be enough."
So guys, how many jokes in this show?
Too many? No, not too many. Not enough.
Pedro clearly lived for a moment like this, and he added, "Well, since it's a comedy show, jokes are just kind of like coming on, and if you don't get it, then you're not watching the show correctly."
Like always coming on, and if you don't get it, then
Screw you.
you're not watching the show correctly.
Yeah.
The interview with Variety was filled with plenty of lighthearted moments thanks to the unending supply of jokes and laughter from the dynamic combo of Pedro and Bella. They were later asked what their characters would be doing if the outbreak had not happened. Pedro and Bella each gave different answers. While Bella was trying to think of an answer, Pedro was quick to say that Ellie would be doing hard drugs. Bella didn't even care to argue with him. She grinned broadly and agreed, "Probably." Bella went on to narrate what she thought her character would be doing. We can't tell if she was being sarcastic or maybe trying to be actually serious. See for yourself. Pedro agreed that his character might have just been a failed musician.
I think that Joel would have just been a failed musician.
He goes on to share what he thinks Joel would be doing if only there was no outbreak, even sharing his hopes that Joel would be a grandfather someday. Another question from Variety Interview was incredibly interesting when they asked what they would do if they were ever in a zombie apocalypse. The question clearly sent shivers down Bella's spine while Pedro humorously scratched his head, probably in order to boost his brain for the best answer. Bella didn't waste time sharing that she would cling to Pedro and cry.
Cling to each other and cry.
Pedro, however, was more pessimistic by saying that they would hold on to each other and get ready to die. Bella was fast to point out that they would actually laugh and crack jokes until the very end. However, what was more interesting was when Bella suggested that Pedro could use his conversational skills to negotiate an escape. Pedro laughed it off, reminding Bella how ridiculous it would be to hold a meaningful conversation with zombies. The TVLINE interviewer posed a deep question to Bella. She was curious to know Ellie's worldview and how it was different from Joel since she was born just right after the outbreak. Please enlighten us to the nature of her phobia, she added. What does she consider to be hip? When asked about her outlook on the world, what did she say? Bella may not have seen the question coming, but without giving it much thought, she mentioned that Ellie's biggest fear is ending up alone.
Her biggest fear is ending up alone.
Pedro couldn't help but be drawn into the moment. He stared deeply into Bella's eyes while she spoke. Bella goes on to explain that it's clear from the get-go that this is the game's central focus, and it helps to illustrate the game's underlying theme of monophobia. She explained that it's like getting a terrible fever when you realize you're all alone. And speaking about what she thinks Ellie finds cool, Bella goes on to narrate that Ellie is intrigued by the way the world was before the apocalypse, and she doesn't hide her curiosity as she keeps asking Joel a lot of questions. Ellie clearly finds the idea of the other world fascinating, and she doesn't act like a normal teenager. A brilliant response, right? We can agree that Bella is an exceptional adolescent in many ways. Her skills and maturity are way beyond her years, and it's always a pleasure to watch her in interviews. And although Pedro Pascal is always funny and witty during interviews or when he is with Bella, he is undeniably a star actor in any TV or film show. In short, we undoubtedly cannot deny the amazingly close-knit and uproarious interactions between Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey after witnessing loads of funny moments during their interviews. So, maybe it's not exaggerating to name this couple the inseparables BELDRO and Pela, or the Pedro and Bella house, isn't it? That's the end of videos today. Don't forget to click thumbs up and subscription this video while we wait and hope that one Hollywood producer takes on our advice. Additionally, subscribe to our channel and be among the first to learn any breaking news involving your favorite Hollywood stars.
Trying to tell myself I'm fine.